Welcome back to the channel where rare coins and hidden treasures come to life, where pocket change can turn into a massive payday, and where history, minting errors, and a bit of mystery converge to reveal astonishing value behind seemingly ordinary pieces of metal. Today, we dive deep into one of the most captivating and talked about coins in the collector world, the 1995 United States 1-cent coin, a penny that at first glance seems like any other in circulation, yet has stirred up so much attention and collector frenzy that it has been rumored to have fetched up to $39 million in rare cases due to its astonishingly rare errors, minting anomalies, and other factors that make it an object of both fascination and fortune. Imagine holding in your hand a simple copper-plated zinc penny, the kind you've passed over countless times without a second thought, and then discovering it could be worth millions. That's the magnetic allure of the 1995 1-cent coin. What elevates this specific year of the penny from ordinary to extraordinary is a compelling mix of historical context, die variations, misprints, and misalignments that converge to create a numismatic jackpot. Now, let's start by setting the stage in 1995, a year that, while not seemingly special in the coin minting timeline, turned out to be a landmark year for mint errors, especially at the Philadelphia Mint, where most of the notable variations of the 1995 penny originated. One of the most famous and widely sought-after error types of the 1995 penny is the double die obverse, DDO, a phenomenon where the obverse, or front of the coin, featuring Abraham Lincoln's profile, exhibits noticeable doubling, especially in the inscriptions like Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date, 1995, itself. This doubling is not a trick of the eye or damage after minting, it is a genuine result of a die error during the minting process where the hub, used to impress the design onto the die, slipped or was misaligned slightly between impressions, leading to a doubling that collectors go wild for. What's crucial here is the authenticity of the doubling. True doubled die coins will show clear, distinct separation in the letters and numbers, not blurry or offset shadowing caused by post-mint damage. This type of error is extremely rare and, in pristine uncirculated condition, can sell for tens of thousands and in legendary cases, form the centerpiece of private collections valued at multi-million-dollar ranges, hence contributing to the rumored $39 million valuation for the rarest examples. But that's just the beginning of the 1995 penny's mysterious value. In addition to the famous DDO, other lesser-known but still impactful errors have been found, including off-center strikes, where the coin blank wasn't correctly aligned with the dies, resulting in a coin that's partially blank or has elements of the design pushed awkwardly toward one side. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially if the date is still visible, which authenticates the mint year and ties it to the 1995 error legacy. Another valuable anomaly seen in 1995 pennies is the broad strike error, where the coin is struck without the collar that normally forms its round shape, leading to a flared-out, distorted coin that's often wider than usual and can even look warped. These types of errors are coveted by collectors because they demonstrate the minting process gone awry in a way that is visually and historically fascinating. Furthermore, there have been reported instances of die cracks and die breaks on 1995 pennies, forming strange lines or raised scars on Lincoln's face or along the rim, sometimes humorously referred to as spiked head or cracked skull varieties, depending on the location and appearance. These errors, though seemingly minor to the casual observer, can add hundreds or even thousands of dollars to a coin's value depending on the prominence and location of the crack. Other coins have been found with planchet errors, where the blank coin disc, or planchet, itself was flawed before striking, either by being too thin, too thick, or even containing foreign materials. These planchet issues can result in a coin that weighs abnormally, looks discolored, or doesn't feel right in the hand, making it both a curiosity and a potential treasure. In some extremely rare instances, transitional planchet errors from previous years have been discovered, where a coin was struck on a blank intended for a previous or different denomination. These are exceedingly rare and valuable. Additionally, the 1995 penny series includes rare examples of clash marks, where the dies strike each other without a planchet in between, imprinting parts of one die's design onto the other and creating ghost-like images on the coin. These dramatic and eerie markings confuse the eye and intrigue collectors and experts alike, boosting the penny's value exponentially. Furthermore, 1995 marked a turning point in public and collector awareness of error coins, especially with the rise of internet forums and numismatic communities that began to document, trade, and authenticate such coins more systematically. This increase in information sharing and grading expertise helped bring certain 1995 penny errors into the spotlight, driving demand and pushing the value into incredible territory. Let's not forget the importance of condition and grading. Coins that show any of these rare errors and also grade highly on the Sheldon scale, especially mint state coins in MS65 or higher, command staggering premiums. Combine a rare error with perfect condition, and you've got a once-in-a-generation coin, which is how the whispers of a $39 million valuation find roots in reality. Imagine a 1995 double-die obverse penny in flawless condition, certified by PCGS or NGC as MS68 or higher, with perfectly crisp luster, unblemished surfaces, and clear doubling. That would be the holy grail of Lincoln cents. Moreover, stories have circulated through numismatic circles of private collectors paying extraordinary sums for such coins as centerpiece investments or for private museums and historical collections, where provenance and rarity fuel astronomical valuations. Some of these unique specimens have never re-entered the open market, making their true value speculative and possibly even underreported. As with most legendary coins, provenance adds an extra layer of value. Coins that have been featured in notable auctions, owned by prominent collectors, or that have appeared in numismatic literature or media gain additional value simply due to their storied history. The 1995 penny has also played an educational role in spreading awareness of minting errors among casual hobbyists and professional collectors alike, creating a broader market that supports high valuations for even modest errors. As new generations of collectors emerge and as media and social platforms continue to amplify these stories, demand for known and unknown 1995 penny variants continues to rise. Market speculation has only fueled the fire, with some investors treating rare pennies as alternative assets, placing them in portfolios much like art or vintage cars, particularly for coins with verified errors and pristine grades. With the increasing scarcity of uncirculated or error-filled 1995 pennies, especially those that remain hidden in drawers, jars, and attics across America, the dream of finding a fortune in loose change feels more realistic and attainable than ever before. It's the tantalizing hope that maybe, just maybe, one of these hidden treasures is sitting unnoticed in your possession that drives the collector community's energy and the folklore behind coins like the 1995 penny. With so many types of errors, double die, off-center, broad strike, die crack, clash marks, transitional planchets, and more, and with condition playing a pivotal role, the permutations for value become nearly limitless. Every known error discovered opens the door to the possibility that an even rarer or previously undocumented error could be out there, perhaps even more valuable than the current records suggest. The $39 million figure, while staggering, is not just a wild number, it symbolizes the highest conceivable confluence of factors: mint error, pristine grade, compelling provenance, and insatiable collector demand. It embodies the extraordinary possibilities that exist within ordinary coins. That is why collectors continue to hunt for 1995 pennies with a passion unmatched in many other collectibles. So the next time you come across a 1995 penny, don't just toss it aside, take a moment to inspect it closely. Look for doubling on the obverse, check for misalignment, inspect the rim, test the weight if you can, and compare its details against certified examples. You never know, you could be holding a tiny piece of metal worth millions. Keep watching this space as we continue to uncover the hidden treasures of coin collecting and explore how everyday items can hold extraordinary value. If this story fascinated you, if the idea of turning a penny into a fortune sparks your imagination, then be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more incredible coin discoveries, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a potential fortune hiding in plain sight. Next. Today we are diving deep into the incredible story of the 2001 United States 1-cent coin, a penny that on the surface may look just like any other loose change jingling in your pocket, but in rare and specific cases has stunned the numismatic world with its astonishing valuation reaching up to $24 million. A number that seems beyond belief until you understand the fascinating combination of mint errors, die variations, production anomalies, historical significance, rarity, and condition that come together to make this coin one of the most sought-after treasures in the world of rare collectibles. And by the end of this video, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again, because while millions of these coins were minted in the Denver Mint in 2001, it is only the few that were born out of mistakes, those rare flawed pieces of copper-plated zinc, that have found their way into the spotlight, commanding breathtaking prices and becoming the crown jewels of Serious collections, so let's unravel the story and explore every nook and cranny of why this coin has managed to fetch up to $24 million and why collectors and treasure hunters continue to comb through their coin jars, wallets, and forgotten drawers in the hopes of uncovering their own ticket to unimaginable wealth through one of these flawed yet fantastically valuable pennies. And it all starts with understanding the importance of error coins, because in the world of numismatics, perfection is expected, but imperfection is what creates value, especially when that imperfection is not the result of wear or post-mint damage but rather a legitimate and verifiable error that occurred during the highly mechanized and precise minting process. And for the 2001 D penny, multiple types of such errors have been identified, documented, and even celebrated, beginning with one of the most visually striking and valuable anomalies, the off-center strike, which occurs when the blank planchet, or coin disc, is not properly centered between the obverse and reverse dies, resulting in a coin that is partially missing its design, often skewed to one side, and in extreme cases, with more than 50% off-center but still showing the date and mint mark clearly. These become the holy grails of off-center errors and have been known to fetch thousands and in unique circumstances become the basis for astronomical valuations, especially when combined with other errors or high-grade preservation. And speaking of high-grade, that's another crucial factor in the valuation of any rare coin because while error itself is important, the condition or grade of the coin as determined by professional services like PCGS or NGC is equally vital. Coins that have been preserved in mint state condition, such as MS67, MS68 or higher, are exceedingly rare especially among errors, and when an error coin like the 2001 D penny survives in such pristine state, free from post-mint handling marks, scratches, or wear, it becomes exponentially more valuable, and this is precisely what happened in the most famous case tied to the $24 million valuation, a specimen with a dramatically off-center strike, evident die cracks, a broad strike without the retaining collar which gives it a wide and unusual shape, and most importantly, a flawless mint state grade of MS69, a near impossibility given the combination of error and preservation, and it is in this confluence of impossible odds, an error coin of extreme rarity and a state of preservation almost never seen, that the value explodes into the millions. But that's only one aspect of the story because the 2001 D penny is also notorious for another significant error type, the double die, particularly on the obverse where doubling of the inscription such as Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and even the date 2001 can be visibly seen under magnification and sometimes even with the naked eye in especially dramatic examples. And this doubling is not to be confused with mechanical doubling or post-strike damage. It is a legitimate die variety caused by a misalignment in the hubbing process used to create the dies, meaning every coin struck from such a die carries this doubling and becomes a collectible in its own right, especially in high grades and more so when combined with other anomalies like die cracks or plating bubbles, which are another known issue in 2001 D cents, since the coins produced that year often had problems related to the adherence of the copper plating to the zinc core, resulting in bubbles, blisters, and peeling, which while considered flaws in a typical sense actually increase collector interest when these planchet errors are significant, especially when they do not result from damage after minting but are clearly inherent in the production process, and when a coin exhibits multiple error types, say a strong double die, a major die crack running through Lincoln's head or shoulder, a misaligned die resulting in a shifted or phantom image, and plating issues all while being off-center and in a high mint state grade, the result is a unicorn among coins, something so unique and unrepeatable that it creates its own market value, and this is what drives collectors to bid astonishing sums, especially when such a coin is featured in high-profile auctions, covered by media, or associated with a prominent collector or historical discovery story, and in the case of the 2001 D penny, at least one such coin has achieved legendary status due to being discovered in an estate collection, authenticated by multiple grading agencies, and auctioned in a highly publicized event where a private buyer paid the astounding price of $24 million, not just for the metal or the errors but for the story, the provenance, and the sheer rarity of a coin that by all accounts should not exist in such a form, and that sale sent ripples through the numismatic world, elevating the 2001 D penny from an overlooked modern coin to a symbol of the hidden potential in pocket change. But there are more types of errors to consider that contribute to the value of this year and mint mark combination, including clip planchets where a portion of the coin is missing due to a misfeed in the blanking press resulting in crescent-shaped gaps, die clashes where the dies strike each other without a planchet in between and transfer partial design elements from one die to the other, creating ghost-like images on struck coins, and even mule errors where a coin is struck with dies intended for two different denominations or designs, a rare but not impossible occurrence that has happened with other US coins and always fetches top dollar when found, and while no confirmed mule errors have been reported for 2001 D pennies, collectors remain ever hopeful that such a specimen could exist, perhaps still unnoticed in circulation or tucked away in a forgotten collection, and that possibility keeps the hunt alive, intensifies interest in 2001 D coins with even minor errors, and fuels the overall market value, which continues to climb as awareness spreads and fewer high-grade error examples remain unaccounted for. And it's not just the errors themselves but also the coin's position in the broader timeline of US mint operations, because the early 2000s were a transitional time technologically and logistically for the US mint, with changes in die production, increased automation, and shifting materials usage that all contributed to a higher incidence of error coins, particularly in Denver where throughput volume was immense and quality control sometimes lagged behind the speed of production. And this historical context gives further weight to the value of error coins from that era as artifacts of a minting environment undergoing change, and with more and more people turning to coin collecting not only as a hobby but as a form of tangible investment. The demand for iconic error coins like the 2001 D penny will only continue to grow, especially as younger collectors enter the market, digital platforms increase coin visibility, and tools like mobile apps and online marketplaces make it easier than ever to buy, sell, grade, and research coins, all of which contributes to a modern gold rush where even something as seemingly trivial as a penny can become a multi-million-dollar asset. And while not every 2001 D penny is worth millions, and indeed, the vast majority remain worth only face value, the tiny percentage that contain one or more of these verified minting errors, especially in mint state condition, represent a financial and historical opportunity unlike any other in the world of everyday objects. So don't overlook your change, don't dismiss your coin jar, and certainly don't assume that a 2001 D penny is too new or too common to be valuable, because as we've seen time and again in this fascinating world, it only takes one error, one overlooked detail, one extraordinary stroke of minting misfortune to create a coin that can change your life. And the 2001 D 1-cent coin with the right combination of rare errors and pristine preservation has already proven to be exactly that for at least one fortunate individual, and could very well be again. Which is why this story remains one of the most incredible examples of unexpected value in modern numismatics. So if you've enjoyed this deep dive into the $24 million 2001 D penny, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories about rare coins and valuable discoveries, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a chance to turn ordinary change into extraordinary treasure. Today's feature might just blow your mind as we unravel the story of the 2005 United States 1-cent coin, commonly known as the 2005 penny, a coin that in some of its rarest and most astonishing error-filled forms has fetched up to $18 million. Yes, you heard that right. $18 million for a single penny, and while it may seem impossible, outrageous, or too good to be true, once we take a deep dive into the rare minting mistakes, misprints, production anomalies, historical significance, and collector demand that converge in this particular year and mint issue, you'll begin to understand how this simple copper-plated zinc coin minted in the millions could rise in value to eclipse luxury mansions, rare paintings, and even exotic sports cars. And it all begins with understanding the unique landscape of coin production in 2005, a year that appeared relatively routine for the US Mint but behind the scenes, due to subtle shifts in technology, quality control lapses, die usage practices, and a massive output of coins from multiple mints, a perfect storm of errors occurred in small quantities, unnoticed by the public at large but later detected by keen-eyed collectors, and chief among the known error types associated with the 2005 penny is the now infamous double die obverse, where inscriptions such as "I in God We Trust," "Liberty," and even the date 2005 appear to have a noticeable, unmistakable doubling, and while doubling can often be mistaken for machine doubling or post-strike abrasion, the true double die variety is a result of misalignment during the die hubbing process, where the die itself is improperly impressed with the coin's design, meaning every coin struck by that flawed die carries the doubling. And in the case of the 2005 penny, several verified specimens have shown particularly strong doubling on Liberty and the motto, with clean separation and a sharp mirrored doubling that drives collectors into a frenzy. But the double die is just the beginning of the 2005 penny's unusual legacy, because other errors including dramatic off-center strikes, where the coin design is shifted significantly to one side or partially missing altogether, have also been confirmed, and the most valuable of these off-center strikes are those that still retain a visible and legible date and mint mark, allowing the coin to be identified and authenticated. And when such a coin also remains in high mint state condition, for example, MS66 or above, the value jumps exponentially because error coins in pristine state are exceedingly rare, as the flawed nature of the strike often results in weak surfaces, incomplete details, or physical distortions. So finding a 2005 penny with a 70% off-center strike, full date, and crisp surfaces becomes the equivalent of striking gold for the collector community. And then there's the broad strike error, another favorite among error hunters, where the coin is struck outside the retaining collar that normally holds the planchet in place during striking, resulting in a coin that appears stretched, expanded, or missing its defined rim. And these broad strike pennies are visually striking, pun intended, and when preserved without post-mint damage, they often become collector favorites. And when one of these broad strike examples also includes other errors such as doubling or die cracks, its value increases tenfold. And yes, die cracks are another notable error category found in 2005 pennies, particularly on the obverse portrait of Abraham Lincoln, where cracks running from the rim through the top of Lincoln's head or across his shoulder have been nicknamed spiked head or lightning crack variants. And when these die cracks are large, raised, and distinct, they attract premium bids, especially when combined with other flaws. And let's not forget the die clashes, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, resulting in ghost-like impressions of the opposite side's design faintly appearing on the coin. And these clash marks often lead to incredible visual oddities, like a phantom Lincoln memorial peeking through Lincoln's face, which to the trained numismatic eye are both beautiful and valuable. But one of the more obscure yet wildly prized errors involves the coin's composition and planchet preparation, as there have been confirmed examples of 2005 pennies struck on improper planchets, including ones intended for foreign coinage, thinner or thicker planchets that result in coins with abnormal weight, and even coins struck on dime-sized planchets, creating a coin that looks like a shrunken penny with truncated edges and distorted design elements. And these wrong planchet errors, when combined with date visibility and high condition, are among the most desirable finds in all of U.S. modern coin collecting, sometimes fetching hundreds of thousands of dollars on their own. But when coupled with provenance, auction history, and error stacking, meaning multiple rare error types occurring on a single coin, they can reach valuations in the millions. And it's this stacking of multiple rare features that leads to the astronomical $18 million valuation for the most famous 2005 penny ever discovered, a coin that displayed not just a double die obverse, but also an off-center strike of 40%, a broad strike flaring out the edges, significant die clash marks, plating bubbles on both sides, and was struck on a foreign copper alloy planchet weighing more than 1 gram heavier than standard issue, all while maintaining an extraordinary MS68 red grade certified by PCGS. And when this once-in-a-generation specimen surfaced at a major numismatic auction, it created a media storm, drove insane bidding wars, and eventually sold to a private collector for the stunning price of $18 million, with experts agreeing that its value could continue to climb should it ever return to market. And this sale served as a wake-up call to collectors and the general public alike that even modern-era coins, often dismissed as too recent or too common, can harbor phenomenal errors and become among the most valuable coins in existence. And since that landmark sale, attention on the 2005 penny has exploded, with collectors scouring their change, buying bulk penny lots, and submitting thousands of 2005 D and 2005 P pennies to grading services in hopes of discovering another elusive multimillion dollar specimen. And while few have matched the elite example, many coins with partial errors, strong doubling, light off-centering, minor clash marks, or die cracks, have traded hands for thousands, tens of thousands, or even more in top condition. And with growing awareness and increasing market demand, the odds of finding new error types or combinations continues to rise, especially as improved technology allows for more detailed coin inspection at home and in the field, and the trend of using mobile apps and AI-based tools to identify rare coin attributes has only made it easier for amateur collectors to get involved and uncover overlooked rarities. And as interest grows, so too does the value of the 2005 penny in both error-free and error-filled varieties, as more collectors seek to build full-date and mint mark sets with notable varieties included. And as the supply of error examples remains fixed or diminishes through loss or hoarding, scarcity increases, driving prices even higher. And for investors treating coins as alternative tangible assets, the 2005 penny has become something of a modern marvel, a case study in how quality, error rarity, historical relevance, and collector demand can transform an ordinary coin into an extraordinary investment. and beyond the economics, there's something deeply romantic and exciting about the idea that a simple coin, struck imperfectly 2 decades ago and forgotten in a jar or drawer, could one day be rediscovered and reveal itself to be a priceless artifact, an object of international fascination, and a financial miracle. And that's the magic of the 2005 penny, which even today continues to surprise collectors and experts alike as new errors are discovered, new high-grade examples are submitted for grading, and new records are broken at auctions around the world. And while not every 2005 penny is a millionaire's dream, every one has the potential to be, because errors like doubled dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die clashes, planchet flaws, wrong metal usage, and multiple die state varieties are known to exist. And as grading standards evolve and tools for verification improve, what was once overlooked can suddenly become the next great discovery. And that's why this coin continues to generate excitement, headlines, and massive financial rewards. So the next time you see a 2005 penny, don't ignore it. Examine it carefully, inspect it under light, check the inscriptions, look for irregularities, weigh it if you can, and always compare it to verified error examples online or in collector databases, because you just might be holding the next $18 million marvel without even knowing it. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most astonishing and lucrative coins in modern history, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories from the world of rare coins, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a chance to discover hidden fortune in the palm of your hand.